Yo, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the B.O.P.S Sports Podcast. With your guy, the host with the most, the man with the plan, Key Chris Glass, and Manila.
Yo, it's your boy Da Vinci. Starve the ego, feed the soul.
And the Buffalo Kid.
It's your boy Sly, man. Real nigga.
All right, let's get into it. So, today, we go break down all these games because this weekend was a classic for the NFL. You know what I mean? All the way around. Whether you root for these teams or not, everybody came out to perform. So, Cincinnati against Tennessee. I like to say to my guy Sports Rumble, I told him Tannehill was going to be the downfall of the Titans. First play of the game. Me and him are talking. I'm like, yo, you really trust him over Joe Burrow? He goes, yeah. I said, yeah. First play, interception. It's not like he threw it and it got tipped. He threw it right to the defender. And then, from there, it went the way it went. What's up, Sly? You got something you want to say, sir?
No. Go ahead. I'm just listening.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't see how Joe Burrow hasn't shown what he is. You know what I mean? But before I start getting into stats and all that stuff, let you guys run through what you guys want to run through. What was you guys' thoughts on that game?
Well, just like you said earlier, it is one of those games. It was a classic too. It was a great game. Like we were spoiled this weekend all around, man.
Yeah.
Every game was good. But I agree with you, Tannehill. I mean, 3 interceptions, bro. That's not gonna get it done.
And
3 interceptions.
Yeah, at the worst times.
Yeah, I feel you. Like that. Tannehill kind of blew the game. They damn near won in spite of him, though. To be honest, but honestly, I think they needed to give Deontay Foreman the ball more. Like, yo, he only gave him the ball 4 times, but every time he touched the ball, like he was making plays. Like, I think he averaged like something crazy per carry. Like, he should have touched the ball a little bit more. He had the rhythm with Derrick Henry being out. I don't see why they didn't put the ball in his hands a little bit more. But I mean, I don't know. I didn't expect the Titans to win anyway. I mean, that's a good team still, but I mean, they got as far as they were supposed to. They ironically landed in the number 1 seed. I give them credit for what they did throughout the season, though. But to be honest, I didn't even want to see them go no further. Like, I'm kind of happy they lost. Like,
hold on, you didn't want to see Tennessee go any further?
Yeah, I'm cool on Tennessee. They kind of boring. I don't know who more boring, the Titans or the Patriots. Either way, I'm happy. Most of the niggas is out. Gone. Out of here.
This sounds like a bitter Bills fan. You know
I mean? I think the Bills showed they was the second best team in the league, yo. Yeah, I mean,
second best team in the league.
That's a fact.
How are they second best team?
Wait.
No. We still on the Titans. But yeah, the Titans. I'm cool on them being out. You know what I'm saying? Not nothing against them, but Ryan Tannehill, quarterback, he not exciting at all. Like, I'm happy. I'd rather see Joe Burrow and them advance to the next round. Good season though.
Okay, I'm gonna run down the stats and then we'll conclude this. Okay, but hey, just so everybody knows, I told y'all the Bengals is gonna win this game. I don't want to hear nobody talk to me about I wasn't, because we've got receipts.
Okay? Everybody picked the Bengals, bro.
No, I don't think everybody picked the Bengals. there was a lot of people that picked the Titans. Don't get it twisted. I seen a lot of heartbreak on Saturday, okay? But anyways, so Ryan Tannehill, 50 to 24, 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Now, I have to say this in defense of Tannehill, that touchdown throw he did to Brown, that was right in the pocket. Like, he just literally turned around and the ball just dropped right in his arm. He didn't have to do nothing extra. That was a beautiful throw. But other than that, though, trash. You're right. Foreman, they should have gave him more carries. 4 carries, 66 yards. 16.5 average per
carry. So hold on. So quick question. Do you guys think they rush Henry back to be the like Sly was saying, like it should have been Foreman, but they give Henry like 20 carries.
Yeah, they should have split the carries more. Foreman was hot. He had a hot hand. They should have split the carries, man. But I mean, you know how it is. You got a game plan. You come into it a game with a game plan. You want to execute the game plan. I get it. I think the game plan should have implemented Foreman a little bit more though, especially once you see he was hot, man. He was. It is what it is. You know, sometimes you overthink yourself. That's what coaches do sometimes.
I guess 20 carries for 62 yards. That's Derrick Henry. But the thing is, for me, he's a cowbell back. Okay, he's not somebody that comes in and gives you the yards right away. You got to feed him. And I felt like if they were going to have him there, they should have just fed him. He could have done damage either way, but they should have just fed him. Because if you watch the game, it's like he do 2 runs, they pull him out, put Foreman in, right? And then it'd be, back and forth. You got to just, in a playoff game, I feel that it should have just one guy. Forget trying to do the multiple backs.
So you want to just have the dude averaging 3 yards per carry, or the nigga averaging 16 yards per carry? Listen, I think it would make sense to rush the guy who averaging 16 yards per carry.
Okay. No. Listen,
that's actually been playing.
No.
But also wasn't this Henry's first game back?
It was, but this is what I'm saying though. If they were gonna have Henry there, just run with Henry. If you're gonna put Foreman in the game, just run with Foreman.
He had 20 carries.
I know he had 20 carries, but what I'm saying is, if you look at it in the bigger picture of things, Henry shouldn't have been out there, period, if they weren't gonna run him the whole game. He's not a running back it's like Adrian Peterson. You know what I'm saying? How many times you see AP split carries with somebody? Whether he was injured or not.
They didn't split carries. Foreman had 4 carries. They didn't split them. He carried the ball 20 times. The other dude carried the ball 4 times. What they should have did is had one guy carry the ball 10 times, one guy carry the ball 12 times. Go with the guy that's been playing. Give him more carries because he's been playing. He's hot. Henry's cool, but probably get him in goal line situations, short yardage situations. Let him work his way back into the starting lineup. That dude he's cold. Like he ain't been playing.
And cool. And watching the game, I clearly saw that. And I was like watching. I was like, okay, why isn't Foreman the number 1 running back here? Nothing against Henry, but he's coming off injury, and Foreman has shown that he can rise to the level.
Okay, so when I say split, it may not be that they ran the ball all the time, but Foreman was in the backfield for a good portion of that game, whether he ran the ball or caught it. Even though, if I look right now, he ain't got no receptions. But it wasn't Derrick Henry back there the whole time. Yeah, he ran the ball 20 times, but in the sense of just having a running back in the backfield, him and Foreman were in the backfield the exact same amount of times. It was just they ran Henry more than they ran Foreman. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen.
I think that's cap. I'm gonna just go on a limb and say that's cap. I don't think they were in the backfield the same amount of times. If one guy got 4 carries and one guy got 20 carries, that would make sense. He was averaging 3 yards per carry. That's why he probably wasn't in on third downs. He was averaging like probably around 3 yards per carry. They was in a lot of third down situations where he's not always the primary back on third downs.
I'm just gonna say that's on the coach too for not making an adjustment. Like, how can you see a guy has 4 carries? 4 carries for how much? Like 66 yards or something?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other guy has, that's on the coach too, man.
If I can find a stat that denies what I'm saying, I'll try to find it. But I sat and watched the game. They did have a running back in the backfield about 65% of the time. They didn't run the ball more than 27 times?
Yeah, but hold on, King. Look at this. Though.
Yeah.
16.5 carry.
I'm not talking about the carries. No, listen. What I'm talking about right now is that they have
not carries.
In the
yards.
I'm not talking about runs or yards right now. What I'm talking about is them having a running back in the backfield, regardless of who ran the ball. As much as it seems like, okay, Derrick Henry was out there pretty much almost the whole time, that's not the truth. Foreman was out there, and I think they have another running back as well. They didn't run the ball. They only ran the ball 27 times.
Well,
and
even
3
if
of
that's
those were
true,
from
that's
Ryan.
well,
That's
even
a
if that's
lot.
true,
And that's what they do. But they weren't getting yards. They weren't getting first downs. You can't keep running the ball if you're not
Oh,
getting.
Corbin was getting first downs for them. Like you said, 60.5 carries, right?
You only touched the ball 4 times though.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that sometimes the running back was back there to help pass protect from to throw the ball. He threw the ball 24 times. So they ran the ball 27 and threw the ball 24, right? And out of those 24 times, how many times do you think a running back was sitting in the backfield, either to block or scat protection? And they didn't make use of that at
I
all.
feel like it was Derrick Henry most of the time, and he wasn't productive. Common sense would tell you, let's try this other guy. It's the playoffs. This is it. We lose, we out of here. We got to switch up the game plan. One dude is productive right now. The other dude is not. We got to switch up the game plan right there. That was just a stubborn coaching mistake, man. That Vrabel's from that Belichick tree. Stubborn.
Well, I guess, but think about it this way: AJ Brown 5 receptions, 142 yards, 28.4 yards average per catch.
What they say? What's this? What is it? Numbers lie, right? So
No,
much
listen,
as the
I
receiver's
understand.
productive, but if the quarterback's throwing interceptions, do you want him to keep throwing the ball? He threw 3 picks. That's why they lost the game.
No, listen, I know. I'm just explaining the numbers to you. I'm not validating anything with these numbers. I'm just explaining the numbers to you. All right, sir? All right, so let's calm down a little bit. But
I'm just saying, man.
Julio Jones, 6 receptions, 62 yards, 10.3. So it's not like they couldn't move the ball through the air.
They're throwing interceptions, though.
No, but
the more you throw it, the higher your chances are of throwing an interception. Your quarterback is cold.
But he threw 24. Okay, 24 passes. Okay,
right?
You want me to tell you how many Joe Burrow threw?
If it matters, I don't know that it does, but
37.
Yeah. Right.
And he only has 1 interception and 0 touchdowns.
You see that? You see why Joe Burrow threw the ball more, though? So Joe Burrow threw the ball more because he wasn't throwing picks. So those receiving yards they're null and void.
Okay, so hold on here. I'm looking at the rushing. 14 for Mixon, 2 for Burrow, 1 for Chris, and 1 for Jamar. Mixon 54 yards, Burrow 5, Evans 4, Jamar Chase 2. They didn't.
So what that? All right. So what that tell you?
That told me that they trusted him to throw the ball more.
Well, I think that should tell you that those turnovers is what lost the game. One team turned the ball over, one team didn't. Neither team rushing game was. I mean, Tennessee rushing game was working. Tennessee had just passing game probably just as good yardage wise, but they didn't have the turnovers.
It was only 220 yards he threw for.
No, but I'm saying they're similar, is what I'm saying. It was the turnovers that lost the game.
148 yards isn't similar, though.
What you mean?
Joe Burrow threw for 348 yards.
Okay, I'm mean okay, so he threw
for 220, right?
Right.
The two highest grossing receivers was AJ Brown and Julio Jones, right? AJ 142, Julio 62, right? Go over to the Bengals, Jamar Chase 109, 5 receptions. Higgins 96 yards, 7. Usman Sada 7 receptions, 71 yards. Joe Mixon got 6 with 51 yards, and then Boyd got 2 for 17. So passing the ball was the strength of the Bengals. And that's been the strength of the Bengals. It hasn't really been the rush. Because everybody's been talking about the hookup between Burrow and Chase, right? And how he's helped the other receivers get open. And that's
I think if the score kind of indicates the fact that they won by such a small margin, that kind of indicates all that passing. It wasn't putting enough points on the board because the score was so close. What the swinger in the game was the turnovers. That was it.
I mean, I would say the turnovers, but I would say that the defense actually didn't break. That's literally the tale of the whole weekend. The defense in certain places didn't break. Hold on. So that's how you feel. All right.
I say you take two of those interceptions away, and that's a whole different ballgame.
I mean, I guess, but the only interception that really mattered was the one at the end of the game.
I don't think so. I mean,
The very last interception that Tannehill threw, that wasn't the game.
No. What I'm saying is that accumulation of interceptions is what of turning the ball over. That's what ultimately decided the game because it was a close game. The only thing that separated them was one team turned the ball over a lot, the other team did. You get those extra possessions for Tennessee, I think that's a different game. Let's imagine those extra possessions got Deontay Foreman running the ball.
Okay.
That's game.